The DCEU is dead. Long live the DCEU. Is dead. Long live the DCEU. Is Hello again, everybody. MIKEYLITO here, and something of a first for me, a somewhat spoilery review of the final film in the DC Extended Universe. It's The Flash, and it stars Ezra Miller as Barry Allen and The Flash, and Barry Allen and The Flash. Usually I don't do spoiler reviews. I've even taken to the point now of not watching a whole lot of trailers and previews. Usually the only trailers and previews that I see are the ones that I see in the movie theater. But even with that limited amount of exposure to what was going to happen in this movie, I already knew that there were two Barry Allens and two Flashes in this movie. Unfortunately, what I did see in the trailers kind of led me to believe that I was going to see one thing, and it turned out that I saw something completely different. I don't know if that affects my opinion about this movie, but it was definitely quite different from what I expected, especially considering the glowing reviews that I heard from people that I tend to trust in one form or fashion, uh, who had seen it before. And I'm speaking specifically of John Campea and Robert Meyer Burnett. I did not like this movie. I thought it was a muddled mess of mud. Uh, just about every character from the DC Extended Universe appeared. Well, let me put it up. I did put on the banner, and I should put it up right now so that you see it. It's right over here. This is a spoiler review. I'm not going to spoil a whole lot of things, but there are some elements that I'm going to spoil, and I was just getting ready to get into one. Just about every character in the DCEU, specifically the Snyderverse. And I'm not a Snyder bro, although I do enjoy uh, some of the Snyder films, most especially Man of Steel. And anyway, just about every character appears in this movie except Henry Cavill, which I found really strange considering that George Reeves appears in this movie, Christopher Reeve appears in this movie, uh, other iterations of Flash, and I don't know the actors. I'd probably have to research it. Other iterations of Flash, other than Ezra Miller, appear in this movie. The plot is basically, it starts off with a situation where the Justice League that we have known up until now is getting involved in a issue that's happening in Gotham City. And the first thing that I found curious was that uh, Barry Allen got a call from Alfred, uh, letting him know that he was needed in Gotham City to help with what was going on there. So Barry Allen takes a run over to Gotham City, and he's assigned to stop a hospital from collapsing. And I'm not going to get into what went on there. The action in this film is like extremely kinetic. But so obviously, because he's the Flash, a lot of things have to run in slow motion, and the the scene where he's getting involved with the hospital collapsing is just amazing visually, but to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, particularly one of the ways that he saves a baby from falling from a higher floor. Anyway, at one point, he runs so fast that he realizes that he can time travel. He goes back in time. Uh, he realizes that he can time travel, and he decides that he is now going to go all the way back to when his mother was killed and save his mother and his father, who's accused of killing her, uh, in order that they can be present in his life. And that basically is the impetus for the rest of the film. We have multiple Batmans. So in addition to Ben Affleck, who appeared apparently as a cameo because he was uncredited, he appears. Also, another Batman that you're familiar with appears, but not Christian Bale, a different Batman, an earlier Batman. Michael Shannon appears as General Zod, and they took the whole Superman storyline from Man of Steel and turned it inside out, which is why we get Sasha Calle as Supergirl, which I don't particularly have a problem with her appearing. I just have a problem with the whole sequence of how General Zod interacts with her. So anyway, I'm just about going to wrap this up because, like I said, I did not enjoy the film. The screenplay was written by Christina Hodson, and there's other writers. One of them is Joby Harold. He did the screen story with two other writers that I did not make a note of. This is the rating system that I use. It's from Track TV, and it's a 10 scale, and I divide the number that I pick in half and hand out stars based on a 5-star scale. This movie for me is going to get a 5 or 2.5 stars. I really wasn't happy with it. I talked to another audience member in the theater after the film was over, and he wasn't happy with it either. There is one post-credit scene. Another familiar DCEU character shows up in the post-credit scene, and it is a post-credit scene, so you have to wait all the way to the end if you want to see it. I don't know that it. I mean, when it hits streaming, when it hits Max, you can see it. Then I don't know if it's necessarily desirable for you to go all the way to the end of the film in order to see this. The previews on Thursday, which I was not able to attend, Deadline reported it as $9 million. The numbers reported it as $9.7 million. They're projecting that the film is going to make $85 million over the 3-day weekend, as Monday is Juneteenth. So it is a federal holiday on Monday. So I guess they're looking at 3-day receipts. The other news of notes involving this film, it was directed by Andy Muschietti, who was picked by DC Studios to direct the new Batman feature, The Brave and the Bold, yesterday. And he and his sister, producer Barbara Muschietti, signed separate multi-year first look deals with Warner Brothers Pictures and Warner Brothers Television Group. So they are in the fold. I know my review is going to be, once again, a contrarian review. Obviously, other people that you know and like loved the film. I did not. So that's it. That's all I have for you this time. I was so upset by this film. I had planned to stick around to see Asteroid City, which is in limited release. And there's a thunderstorm going on here. It's raining, and I'm just done. So possibly next week, maybe Thursday, I will go see Asteroid City when it goes in wide release across the country. And in 2 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks. Let me look here. In 2 weeks, the next one is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. That will also be on a Friday because the Thursday preview, again, I use public transportation, so the Thursday preview is happening too late. So Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, probably around 2:30 and 3 o'clock U.S. Eastern Time, if everything goes well, is when I'll be doing my review. So that's it. As I always say, watch content, form opinion. You've just heard mine. And until the next time, this is Mikey Lito saying, ciao for now.